Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fourth session, final session for day one of our special Society of Conservation Biology Malaysian chapter, the virtual World Turtle Day open house. So some of you might know me. I usually don't wear colorful, I don't like to be too outstanding. So, but exceptionally because it's Hari Raya, the third Raya, I'm wearing red, and I've got ketupat with me. So those people who said it's not an open house without food, there's food, but you have to virtually consume the food that I offer. So I offer you ketupat. And so I'm very, very happy today because we are together to basically discuss a very interesting topic. Especially nowadays, I don't know if you've been following. If you are a turtle person, you would be excited to hear the recent buzz about a potential ban of trade Terengganu, Shopee selling turtle eggs, Facebook, people, MCO, COD on turtle eggs and whatnot. So I just want to frame everyone to the session that we are not just talking about trade. Turtle economy is bigger than that. It's about providing goods and services related to turtles. So it is not just about trading consumption of turtles in trade, but also about the services that we provide. So it includes efforts in conservation and research. So I would like this to be something that people understand, so that people know that we are in this together. So we have today an interesting mix of panelists. And I would like to encourage you to follow us. And because of this very diverse profile of our panelists, you would be able to ask a broader, option of questions, even ask questions that are difficult. And what is nice about tonight is because you have people in the field, you have people who are actually doing it in the field. Not just all the time you hear experts or researchers or conservationists just talking, but today we have people in the field. For example, we have one from Perhentian, a local person who's involved in turtle economy, who's going to share his insights and whatnot. We have people from Sabah as well. We have people from our friends from the other islands. We have people from Lang Tengah. And of course, we have, so a bit biased on Sabah and Terengganu mix, but it's okay because these are, after all, two largest nesting sites in Malaysia. So we can't help it, right? So let us now get to know our panelists. I will just introduce myself for those who doesn't know me yet. Those who don't know me, my name is Jarina. I am a lecturer in UC Malaysia Terengganu. I study turtles as well, but not like my colleagues such as Uzair or my former colleague Juanita. I'm not a turtle biologist. I'm a human ecologist. So I am obsessed with turtles, but more about how people interact with turtles. So that's why this session is very much my pet project. So I'm really excited to see how what kind of engagement we'll be able to get. Okay, so enough about me. Let's get to know our panelists. Okay, I'm just trying to reduce the size of my frame so that, okay, let us start with, let's see, maybe we can start with people furthest to us, our guest from Borneo, Sophia, Miss Sophia Tahari. Would you like to, she's from actually Kudat Turtle Conservation Society. She's really lovely. And I would like her to introduce herself, please.
Thanks, Dr. Jarina, and thanks for the ketupat. And hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in as well. I'm Sophia Tahari. I'm the current chairperson for Kudat Turtle Conservation Society, which was founded in 2007. It was quite a long time ago, and it was registered under the Sabah Registrar Society in January 2011. And we have been operating legally for almost 10 years now. And I want to do a shout out to the original founders of KTCS, Madam Francisca Winfield and her husband, Mr. Ray Winfield, as well as Mr. Roland Agansai. And since then, KTCS has become actively involved in sea turtle conservation in Kudat through education and awareness programs, regular beach cleanup, beach patrolling, and relocation of turtle eggs to hatcheries located in two villages in Kudat, which is Kampung Babang Jamal and Kampung Simpang Mengayau. And we focus on raising the awareness of local communities on sea turtle conservation issues, as well as promoting and increasing participation of local communities in nature conservation efforts. So this is our approach. And as for now, the organization currently has about 115 members. And we have 18 honorary wildlife wardens and 3 honorary park rangers. And in 2016, we started to embark on projects that focus on promoting community conservation efforts as income generating activities funded by UNDP Small Grant Program. And the main objective was to establish a more sustainable means for continuous conservation effort by communities through ecotourism. So money was generated from various tourism-related activities, such as from collection of turtle hatchery release fees, tuck shops, food stalls, and visitors staying in Rumus traditional longhouses as part of the conservation program. And 15% of the total income from each of our activities goes into the TCS Conservation Fund. This is how we fund our various conservation activities, such as maintenance of turtle hatchery and capacity building. Yes, that's all my introduction.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for the introduction. That is our first panelist from Borneo. We have a second one. However, Dave, he's actually from Scuba Junkie. They have difficulties because he's actually still on the island, and apparently the line is not so great. He has tried to get better access just before we started, but I think it's been a challenge among many things. But I think we can still hear him. Dave, are you able to switch on your mic? I think he's not back yet because he said he will rush and find. Are you there? Okay, yes. Dave, are you there? Dave?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you finally. Yes. So, can you please tell us a bit about what Scuba Junkie is about, and how do you fit into this economy, the turtle economy, please?
Yes, certainly. First of all, apologies to everyone for our internet connection. It seems to be terrible, so I can't turn on the cam. But just to introduce everybody to the organization that I work for, it's actually a registered Malaysian society called Persatuan Pendidikan Laut Kesedaran Sabah that is based at Scuba Junkie's Mabul Beach Resort. So I guess our contribution or involvement in the sea turtle economy is, I guess, forging a link between the dive tourism industry and turtle conservation. Because we're pretty much fully funded by the dive resort from their profits, and also from the generous donations of their guests. And then we use that funding to carry out our projects, which fall under 6 main areas, one of which is turtle conservation. So we have a turtle hatchery program on Mabul Island. We have a turtle rehabilitation center, and we're doing a turtle photo ID study as well. But I guess just to keep the introduction short and sweet, that's it. And I can tell you more about those projects later on.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. We look forward to the next round when we get to see more interesting stuff with visuals and whatnot. Thank you. So let's come back to Peninsula Malaysia. Okay, let's see. Let us invite, we have a dynamic duo team from the Lang Tengah Turtle Watch. We have Abida, a very unusual name in Malaysia, because I keep calling her in the beginning Adiba, because that's more usual. But it's like me. Everybody calls me Zarina, but I'm not Zarina, I'm Jarina. So now another uncommon name, Abida and Luca. So can you please share with us a bit about Lang Tengah Turtle Watch?
So hello, hi. My name is Abida, and this is my co-worker, Luca.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
So I'm the co-manager for the project site at Tanjung Resort, and this is the co-manager for Tanga Island project site. So you going?
I'm Luca from Germany. Like, happy to be here tonight, guys. I came all the way here from actually residing in Canada at the moment. A couple of months ago, working for Tanga Turtle Watch now, managing the Tanga project site, which was unfortunately, I think we're gonna get to that topic later, shut down due to COVID-19. So now relocated here to TJ, helping out here. And I'm happy to share lots of interesting information with you guys today.
Thank you. Very short and sweet. So next we move to the island not far from Tanga. We move to, I'm very, very happy today because sometimes when we have this kind of discussion, we always have to pretend to be local community, representing them when we are not actually part of that community. You know, we are just their partners actually in conservation or in whatever activities we do in relation to turtles. But tonight we are very, very pleased to welcome Encik Rahmat. Okay, because Encik Rahmat bin Abdul Wahab is actually a snorkel guide, a local snorkel guide from Perhentian Island. So please, I don't have to, you know, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Sorry, first thing is I'm a snorkeling guide here. I think since 2007. Since 2007 till now, stayed I think 13 years already. I'm doing the same thing. Just take people to sea turtles. Yeah, you can see start from not much can I say, like you can see the difference. The turtle when you see turtle in 2015 until now, it's a bit different. It's not much. So we can discuss this topic later, right? Yeah, we can discuss this topic later. So that's it.
Okay, you see, some people, that's how he is so different from me. I'm like a verbal diarrhea, you know, nobody can stop me from talking. Cik Mat is a bit shy, so it's okay. He'll warm up later. And we're very lucky because I think he's, just to let you know, he has invited us into his house, this open house. Actually, Mel and Cik Mat are both based in Perhentian, so you are looking into his newly built house, and I tell you, you can do jamming. If you ever go to Perhentian, please rent that room for jamming because the echo is very good. We tested that just now. So without wasting time, please, I would like to invite Mel, who's also in Perhentian, but she is she's there working for Perhentian Turtle Project. Yes, please introduce yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. Just really quickly, in case you guys are slightly confused, I'm actually sitting right next to Abang Mat. That's why, you know, you might see him in my frame and you might see me in his frame and stuff like that. So it's not a magic show. We're just like right next to each other. Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. My name is Melissa. I am the current project manager of the Perhentian Turtle Project. Perhentian Turtle Project was in 2015 in Perhentian Islands, mainly to monitor and study the sea turtle populations here. Just because in the beginning there wasn't much research or data published here. So in order to start conserving the turtles, we need to get to know them first, and that was how we established ourselves. And yeah, I think that is basically our main objectives of being here. Perhentian Turtle Project is actually, we're not an NGO. We are similar to Tanga, where we're actually a conservation initiative under Fuse Ecotier. So Fuse Ecotier is a social enterprise, and so the way we fund ourselves is through the fees paid by volunteers who come to volunteer with us. Yeah. Okay, so I think we've covered everyone.
So this is one of the reason why when we were discussing the content for the 2-day celebration, that we thought it would be great to have this session on sea turtle economy, because it will provide an opportunity, a very rare opportunity, to many people who usually do not get to, who are misunderstood. Let's just put it that way. For example, I am a researcher in UMT, and people who are who are following research work and conservation work in Malaysia would know UMT See-Through, Sea Turtle Research Unit, that has been established a long time ago. If you followed the earlier session today, one of the pioneer of See-Through, Prof. Chan and Heng was with us earlier today at 3 o'clock, sharing her experience as a pioneer in turtle research in Malaysia. So it's been around for a long time, and sometimes we do get questions that sometimes very difficult to explain immediately, because, for example, people say you are a university entity, you guys are supported by the government, it's a public university, so why do you collect money from volunteers, especially foreign volunteers, to come and work and volunteer at your place? Why do you have to charge them? Why do you guys have to make profit? So, for example, this is one of the things that people don't understand about the turtle economy, because turtle economy is not just about people making profit from turtles, but it is also about people raising funds to do work that would support turtle population. For example, in UMT, that's why we raise funds from volunteer programs, not only to cover their costs, because the costs that where food and board for the volunteers are not covered by university, because universities does not have deep pockets, bottomless pocket to sponsor things. So those money actually goes to the actual board and food and board for the volunteers, but also to support research work. So I'm stating that out to explain that UMT is part of turtle economy, but the kind of economy which is not to make profit from turtles or conservation, but to basically fund activities related to turtle economy, which is basically conservation and research. So like Mel was mentioning, so I'll pick it up from there. So Mel, now you're a social entrepreneurship setup, which is something quite new in Malaysia. I know it's been around in the West for a long time. So maybe, does that actually get you into trouble in a sense with people when you charge, you actually charge people for doing work for you?
Yeah, so get that question a lot, like, because when people think about volunteering, they think it's something that they do for free. Like, obviously they don't expect to get paid, but if they're doing something, they're contributing their time and energy. So then the question comes up, like, why do I have to pay to help you? And we get that question mostly from Malaysians. I think the concept of social enterprise or like paying to volunteer is more common amongst foreigners, I think. So we get those questions less, but definitely amongst Malaysians, when we try to promote, or even when they do sign up and come to volunteer with us, that we get asked that question a lot. And for me, I personally don't actually know much about what social enterprise or social entrepreneurship actually means. But because I am in this field, and my understanding of it is because the word social is in there. So whatever business we do kind of gives back to society in one way or the other. And in our case, the local community and to our conservation work as well. So when people get confused, or they get a bit, I guess just confused, like, why do they have to pay? Usually I just say that, just imagine that you're making a donation to a good cause, but instead of just donating it and you don't really know where your money goes, like, this is a chance for you to come and experience where your money actually goes and see it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I also find it amazing how, because I think this is what, for some people, this is people from countries, for example, from Europe or from North America, for them it's normal. I would be paying this much money to go on a holiday for a week. So for me, it doesn't matter because instead of paying that to actual tourism operators, I'm actually giving this money to a company, but they're not doing this for. They are also, of course, they need profit because we all don't have rich grandfathers who have left us, you know, a trunk full of stuff, you know, of jewelries to sell off to fund our research. So it's good. But in Malaysia, it's true. It's not something that has been around for a long time. So a lot of people don't understand. Me myself as well. I do a lot of social entrepreneurship initiatives, and people still keep asking because it's something that is not new. It's something very new for them. So I guess hopefully it will change as time goes by, as it become more common. Yeah. So having said, having explained your position in Perhentian, because that's where you are based, and where you are basically right in the middle of the village, right? As I understood. So I would like to hear from Abang Mat. They call him Abang Mat. I'm much older than he is, so I should call him Adik Mat, but it's okay. I will call him Cik Mat as a sign of because I'm so honored to have him here. So Cik Mat, for you, I dedicate my favorite ketupat, which is this design. I love this one. So this is you, and I would like you to share a bit about, because this is the thing that people always, in Terengganu especially, there's a lot of stigma when it comes to local community and turtles, because they always say, oh, local community, they always bash the local community. They say they don't care about turtle, they're just exploiting, they just eat the eggs and whatnot. But I think there's a difference. There's another side of the story that people do not always get to hear. So can you share with us the history of turtle economy in Perhentian, and maybe to the wider area, for example, Perhentian and beyond. Tell us a bit about what does turtle mean to people in Perhentian in the past until today.
Sorry, one moment. I'm just gonna re-explain it to him.
Okay, the third is very important to us, of course. Okay, is it loud enough? It's very important to us. I think the biggest economies, I think the main points people be on this island is for watching turtle. I think that's the main point for attraction of tourists. It doesn't matter local or foreigners. They're here to see a turtle. It means turtles bringing big income. It's very big income for our local people here. So like before, I think they start spot to know this. I think they start know how the people are interested to see a turtle. I think since 1995, maybe 1995, or maybe most in 1990. Start in 1990. I think what I'm noticed is we see more turtle before, okay, and getting less until now. And then some turtle it's not easy to see because most of them is really shy. I think most of them really shy, not easy to see close. What else?
One moment. We'll be back.
You see, Abang Mat is just like turtle, also a bit shy. So it's okay. He will jog his thoughts a bit and see, because we think that it's good to actually share the perspective of locals, because they don't usually enter dialogues like this. It's always monopolized by people who are not actually who has no tradition with turtles at all. So it's easy for people in the city, for example, to pass judgment, because they don't they don't have the contextual understanding of the relationship, the long tradition and long relationship between people and turtles. Because turtles is not just about the eggs that you eat. It's a lot. It represents a lot of things, right? So maybe Bang Mat is ready to share a bit more about the Perhentian people and turtle, or in general Terengganu people and turtles.
Hold on, I'm just gonna pass Abang Mat my microphone because apparently like people can't really hear him. Abang Mat cuba ni, cuba cakap dengan ni. Pakai belah kanan. Belah kanan.
Belah kanan.
Belah kanan. Okay, cakap. Okay, dah dengar. Cakap.
Clear tak?
Can you guys hear him? Yeah?
No, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear.
You cannot hear?
I cannot hear.
Sorry, confused. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hold on. Ni. Tak apa, sembang je. Okay. Can you guys cakap?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, but I cannot hear them.
Tak apa.
It's okay. So the start.
Mat,
okay.
Mat, you couldn't hear us because we were all muted just now. Because we were listening to you, we were all muted, so you couldn't hear us. Yeah. So please.
Okay, the history. I am just telling first about the history for turtle. Yeah, the history. I think most of the local people, they start to know how the tourists interested when they see turtle in 1990. I think they start on 1990 here. Okay, 1990 here. So actually, in the beginning, so we have a tourist came here earlier, but the things we do this kind. We do a snorkeling trip. We do snorkeling trip before, but only for the fish and the coral. Okay, actually, no one expect most of the tourists they're interested only turtle, but accidentally. So during the snorkeling trip, some of the tourists very excited when they see a turtle. Okay, when they see turtle, they're really excited. They're just telling the guide and they saw turtle. Actually, then maybe some of the guys say, hey, they know the better spot to see a turtle. Really, they took one of the place between the small and the big island. Actually, that's the way how they start to spot sea turtle in Turtle Point. So that's the place become a Turtle Point until now. Okay, and then why I notice most people when they came to this island, like the main point they said, I want to see turtle. I really want to see turtle. Okay, so like some of them give a bad promise. Yeah, like I said, we grant you to see turtle here. But sometimes they promise to the people, to customer, like, if you don't see any turtle, we give your money back. Yeah, I think that's something that sometimes not good. But actually, I mean, they guarantee they really see turtles compared to another island. Like if you do snorkeling to another island, I think you're going to Tioman or anything, you see turtle, but it's not like as here. But Redang is good to see turtle now. Right? Redang is really easy to see turtle now. I think quite news. Some because before we went to Redang Island also, no, I think before I think even the snorkelers from Redang they came here to see turtle, but it just surprised me when I went to Redang. I see much easier to see turtle than here. I think. Then there's not much to share.
Is there anything else you want to hear?
Okay, it's good that actually that Mat has mentioned Redang. It's true that we have only recently learned about that Redang people are also getting involved, because previously, as we all know, turtle watching is part of tourism activity in Perhentian, but not in Redang. But since recently, we have actually tourists can actually go to Redang and swim with turtles. So actually, we were planning to have another panelist from Redang, a local representative as well, because the people of Redang under the Persatuan Boat Nelayan Pelancong Redang, the local tourist boat association, they have come together with Taras because the activity only basically concentrates in Teluk Dalam. which is right in front of the Taras Resort. So, but they've come to a very good agreement, collaboration, where Taras is providing platforms and whatnot, and they are collaborating to basically hand over tourists who are interested to these local guides. So we are very, when we heard about this, we are very happy. I was actually planning to get one of them to come, but due to, it's different for Perhentian because we have Mel, that we've been communicating with Mel, and she can just run to Mat's house and convince him. So we don't have such a person in Redang. Situ is now not operate. I mean, all the people from Situ, we do have our rangers, but they are in Cagah Hutang, so much more isolated from the kampung. So we were not able to get them. But yes, such a thing is happening. But what about regulation, Mat? Can you just what would be how is it regulated now?
Explain me.
That means macam mana sekarang ni kita semua bawa, tapi ada tak regulation, peraturan?
Peraturan tu ada, I think they have a regulation, but I think not much lah. Sebab kat sini here we don't have rules, a special rules to see turtle. You don't have to pay a lot to see turtle. Like everyone's feel free to be a sea turtle, but the rule is we just keep telling people around is just please don't touch them. That's it. Yeah, just don't touch a turtle. But sometimes we see during the snorkeling session, I can see a lot of people they're trying to touch. It doesn't matter local people, mostly local people. Maybe because they don't know, we just try to keep telling them, please don't touch. Because suddenly they still did. Okay, but sometimes we can avoid it. Sometimes we can avoid this thing. You cannot handle like 50 people going in the water in the same time to swim with the same turtle, and then of course, as most of them is a first experience for them, swim with turtle. They really hope, of course, go and little bit touch it, of course, but that's good for business, but sometimes good for business, but sometimes bad for turtle. Okay.
Yeah, point taken. That's right. Because the problem is about balance. Yeah, whether it is is it necessary for them to touch? Some people would even go extreme and ask whether it's necessary for them to be there at all. So this is a very good opening for me to invite some insights from Sophia, because Sophia represents the Kudat Turtle Society, and they also take people to engage, to do turtle related engagement. So Sophia, can you just basically share with us how is the things that you guys organize under your society different from a typical conventional nature-based tourism?
So our activities, tourism activities are 100% managed by the communities, run and managed by the communities, from booking of tourism package, managing it, till running it in the field, as well as doing postmortem. So we incorporate sorry.
So can you unmute yourself, Sophia?
Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So do I have to share my presentation slide?
Would you like to share? Yes, please.
Oh yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah, so Sophia is trying to upload her slide. In the meantime, I'll just explain to you, all my panelists are very humble. Sophia, for example, is actually currently pursuing her PhD in University Malaysia Sabah. And she has actually previously worked with WWF, so she knows what she's talking about. And it's very interesting how she's moved from more NGO-based or conservation to community-based conservation. Well, they have set up their own NGO as well, but it's very much a local community based. So what they do in Kudat is actually quite interesting if you ever have a chance to visit. Are you ready,
Okay.
Sophia?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to find my presentation slides. So our work approach revolve around community well-being, and this means in order to maintain our or improve community well-being, we need to take care of our environmental, cultural, economic, and social aspects of our lives. So these four aspects need education and awareness, capacity building, research, and monitoring. So,
Sophia, sorry, Sophia, are you sharing a slide with us or not?
Yes, I'm sharing the slides.
No, there's no slide here. Can you share?
Okay,
You have to select from the window.
Yes. I'm trying to share it.
Mm-hmm. And I will allow, once it pops up, I will allow it.
It doesn't work. The icon, the share screen icon doesn't work.
Okay, so you click it, click.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
Okay, so we have.
Can you see it?
Yes, now, I mean, yes. Please proceed.
I actually can hear my echo.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Okay.
Carry on.
So
yeah, carry on.
Should I start over? So this. Okay. So this diagram shows our work approach in Kudat. So it revolves around community well-being, and so this means in order to maintain or improve community well-being, we need to take care of the environmental, cultural, economic, and social aspects of our lives, and all this need education and awareness, research, monitoring, and capacity building. So our main objectives is, of course, to conserve sea turtle population in Kudat through increasing the involvement of local communities in environmental programs, and also to raise awareness and educate the public on sea turtle importance in the ecosystem, culture, economy, as well as the importance of healthier sea. And those in red are our project sites. We have been working with 4 coastal villages in Kudat so far. And this area, actually, the sea are within the Tun Mustafa Park. One village, Inukiran village, here, is actually not a coastal village. However, the communities there are protecting their catchment area, or the catchment area that where the water goes downstream into the Marudu Bay, which is where the sea turtles are. So the community-based ecotourism activities are 100% run by the communities, from receiving and managing the bookings to running the program in the field, as well as doing postmortem activities afterwards. So this is an article related to kudat hatchlings release in Kampung Baman Jamal. And citizen science is one of the program incorporated in our tourism package. We include water quality monitoring, sea turtle, and seagrass monitoring in our activities for visitors. And beach patrolling is our basic sea turtle conservation activity. So we have it in all of our tourism package. We don't have many tourism package, but we have all of them have this patrolling activity. So in order to ensure the tourism and income generating activities from turtle conservation is sustainable, KTCS focus on building the capacity of communities in handling the visitors and increasing their knowledge in sea turtle monitoring related skills and issues. And in order to train and build community capabilities in scientific work, KTCS has been working with academic institutions such as UMS to train and involve them in scientific research. And some of the community members have been trained as open water and eco divers. These skills actually also opens up their opportunity to obtain for more jobs options, such as working in the diving industry, local guides, and as research and emeritus for research projects. And KTCS also help communities to develop and enhance their skills in making and marketing their cultural products, such as handicrafts. We also try to work with Sabah Tourism Board, local hotels in Kudat, and dive operators to promote the turtle conservation products, as well as related activities such as hatchling release and turtle conservation packages. We are facing several challenges in our work, where especially in tourism, turtle tourism, where most people actually expected turtle conservation program package run by communities to be cheap. So there are people who bargain for a much cheaper price, and then of course there's a lack of funding to do capacity building activities, because we need more people to be trained in hospitality, guiding, and conservation related activities. And fortunately, there's also opportunities such as lately we have a lot of online platforms available to spread about sea turtle conservation work and marketing sea turtle related tourism products. And the university and government sector has started to acknowledge community contributions in sea turtle conservation, and they have been involving them in research and enforcement activities. In Kudat, a few hotels are supported and promote community-based conservation through incorporating environmental friendly daily activities that will reduce pressure on sea turtles. As an example, some of the restaurants and hotels in Kudat are not using plastic straw anymore. And Sabah Tourism Board is right now actively promoting community-based tourism as a platform for community to showcase their products. Actually, I forgot to include. I forgot to mention about right now we having a big challenge where travel restriction during MCO have cut the supply of visitors to our site, and this has significantly affect income from conservation related activities severely, which mainly comes from homestay, food preparation, guiding, and other sea turtle conservation related activities. So that is all from me.
Thank you, Sophia. I think there's it is interesting to see. I guess it's the next step. We were moving away from. We had heard from Cik Mat, who's actually now snorkel guide, and he has raised concerns on. He doesn't. He's very concerned about the non-sustainable ways that tourists are engaging with turtles. And perhaps one day we will see very similar operations in Perhentian, where community can actually lead more turtle friendly, that means more sustainable ways of engaging with turtles. And it's true, we wonder sometimes, why do we actually have to be present in turtle at all? Maybe it's a different level of tourism that we have to aspire to one day in Malaysia. So now maybe we can, from Kudat, we perhaps can have a look at what is being done by a group of more dive-oriented people, and how they actually, through their, because they basically, divers, they just want to look at, they have their logbook, they just want to be underwater. But it's very interesting how these hobbyists can actually also be can channel also their motivations and their energy towards conservation. And this is what I hope Dave will be able to share with us from Sabah. Please, Dave, to you. Dave? He's been having trouble because the line in, I think he's somewhere in Mabul, is very, very limited. So I think we'll skip Dave for a while. I think he's not able to hear us. Maybe we'll take some, in waiting for Dave, maybe I'll pick up some of the questions that are some burning questions that we see. There's a lot of threads, list of questions. So for example, there is a question very much like what I was inferring to, is it necessary to swim with turtles? And then related, there should be a guidelines, right? Where people go in and then they give a briefing and whatnot. And there should be a strict regulation. So what do you guys want to say to this? Like, do tourists have to go into the water and swim with turtles? Do we not need a regulation before we allow them to do this? Do we not have to give them a proper briefing before we allow them to actually engage with turtles? Anyone wants to share some views?
I'm happy to share some information with you guys about that. So, for instance, personal experience I've had that was in Australia. They have on the Ingle Reef a really, really controlled program about whale sharks. So they have a big population there, and they do let you swim with them, but it's super controlled. So there's only a couple of people that can actually provide the service. And there's only this and this many people allowed in the water at one time. You have to keep at least, I think it was 10 meters distance. You always have to be in the water with a guide. You're only allowed to stay with one whale shark for 15 minutes at a time. And then after that, you have to get out of the water, get back onto the boat and leave the whale shark alone, let him swim wherever he wants to. And I think with guys that get the proper training and new regulations in place, I think it would definitely be possible to implement something similar for the turtles as well. So give limits in terms of distance, give limits in terms of time you can spend with a turtle, give limits in terms of how many boats, how many people can approach a turtle at once. And it works really well in Australia, and I imagine it could work really well here in Malaysia as well.
So, because you've been in Malaysia for quite a bit, right? So that is something that you shared from Australia. But having been in Malaysia, I mean, being in Malaysia now, what would be how could be done? But what would be the challenge, in your opinion, Luca?
Definitely a challenge. Definitely a challenge. It will take some time to implement regulations like this, and no doubt.
Yes.
But I can see it working in other places, and I can definitely see it working here as well.
Yes, well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think we should not because you can see a lot of concerns from our netizens, the ones who's watching us now. Nitanan Koshi, Arston, Aileen Yao, they're all concerned about this. They're very concerned about how all these activities are going to impact the wildlife, you know, and I think this is where this is the struggle, the balance. Do we want tourism? Do we when it's really obviously harassing in a sense, like Abang Mat, I mean Cik Mat was saying this now. He was highlighting that even him, as a guide, he feels so stressed, and he's not a turtle. He feels stressed for the turtles because people wanting to, betul tak Abang Mat? Kan? So you know, so how do we do this? And we saw some sharing of some I saw somebody was saying that WWF has a guideline. Of course, there are guidelines out there, but the challenge is in when you're out there. So I would encourage support the activities in the field and observe and be part of that, because I think hopefully all these people who's having all these concerns will come and help Abang Mat. The next time you go in the water, you see somebody wanting to touch the turtle, you tap his hand. You know, tap his hand. Yes, because it's true. This is typical of Malaysians. There's another problem that we have. Because Malaysians do not know how to take action. We only know how to complain. We don't know how to. I remember being in Redang and somebody was swimming in coral reefs with fins, and I was telling him, "You can't swim with your fins." He said, "Oh, you don't know who I am. I am the one who trained the marine park officers and whatnot." I said, "I don't care who you are. You're in the marine park. Fins off." And when somebody saw me doing that, they turned to me and said, "How can you say that? You're a nobody." I said, "What do you mean I'm a nobody? I know the law. You're not supposed to do that. I don't think we have to be somebody." So it's like, and I tell this person, if you see somebody climbing into somebody's house, wanting to steal something, are you not going to stop him because you're not a policeman? No, you do it. But this is something that Malaysians do not know. And you know, and so I hope we all tolong, you saw him, he did the same thing like me. Tap his hand. Let's go and tap on those people's hand, you know, give them that human touch so that they don't touch the turtles. So I hope that we have completely lost Dave. So we are, don't know how to console ourselves, but well, we hope he will return. So maybe now we have introduced our different perspective. Oh yes, LTTW, there's a reason why we invite Lang Tengah Turtle Watch here, because they are very interesting in a sense that, so we see here one side, especially in Terengganu, people always talk about turtle egg trade, and we know that the egg trade in Terengganu is regulated through tender system. So I am actually very happy to have them here because I want them to share their experience as a turtle, completely 100% conservation setup that has actually become a tendered beach concession holder. So please share that very special profile with us.
Sorry.
Yeah, so definitely going to share that with you guys now. I think earlier we had missed to introduce our project a little bit, so we're going to just catch up on that now quickly. We're going to just share our screen with you guys, and you just let us know if that all looks good to you. All right, share entire screen. Okay. All right, you guys able to see everything?
Hello. Can you guys see this slide?
Yes, we do. Please proceed.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, so yeah, we're from Lang Tengah Turtle Watch. We're founded in 2013, and we've obviously introduced ourselves earlier. So I'm just going to tell you guys the basics about the Lang Tengah Island project, one of the 2 project sites we have. So this was our original first project site, which was founded in 2013. That's where it all started. And we're mainly focusing on sea turtle conservation and prevention of poaching activities on Lang Tengah, because Lang Tengah used to be heavily poached, and we actually managed to reduce the poaching on Lang Tengah Island to pretty much 0% in the last 6-7 years. We have actually 2 nesting beaches. One of them you can see in this picture. This is called Turtle Bay, and our base camp, where our little research station, let's say, is based. It's right here in the bush. It's really, really basic setup. Yeah, so we do run different parts. We have a volunteer program, which also funds this entire setup over there, which I will talk about a bit about later as well. It's very successful. We have lots of people coming from all over the world, but also lots of local people, which is really, really good. So we have about a ratio of 50-50. So this is also part of like our outreach program, because we can show locals the beauty of nature. We can show them sea turtles, and lots of people, especially people from the big cities here in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, for example, when they come, they've never seen anything like this. And they're always really happy and excited to do things like that. And we can get the volunteers excited about turtle monitoring, beach cleans. We do snorkel trips with them. Another part of our work there is the nightly patrols of the nesting beaches. So as I mentioned before, poaching was really had a really big impact on the population there. Nearly every nest was poached. And now, due to our presence on the beaches at night, there's virtually no poaching happening anymore, but we still take precautions in terms of relocations of nests. Which we have to move from one of our nesting beaches over there in Langsari to Turtle Bay, because Turtle Bay is simply a safer beach for them, because we have our presence right there 24 hours a day. We also do data collection over there as well. We collect data on morphology of the turtles, growth rates, etc., as well as turtle identification when it comes to metal tagging and also Face ID shots. Yeah, the relocation of the nest to safe sites, as I mentioned, the second nesting beach, Langsari, is not really safe because there's still lots of fishing boats parked in the marine park close to Tanga overnight, and lots of the fishermen used to come over and poach the eggs, which we now moving to Turtle Bay for them to safely incubate. And probably, to me, the most important aspect even there is public outreach as well. So there's 3 resorts on the island, and we work pretty closely together with all of them. And they're quite happy to have us on the island as well, because it's a quite small island, if you've ever been, and we're pretty much the only attraction on the island. So people like to come over, look at the base camp, see how we're living, what we're doing. We give them little ecology and conservation talks and presentations. They also have the possibility to come join us on a little turtle walk, on a turtle patrol, to be able to see some nesting mother turtles. Yeah, and obviously the resorts are quite happy for us to be there, because we provide to their success, because people just actually come to Tanga Island also to see Tanga Turtle Watch. And other public outreach parts, obviously, school groups that come over as well. We have lots of school groups from Malaysia, from really young, like 8-9 years old, up to university students that come over. We try to educate them about all the importance of conservation. We do beach cleanups with them. We show them presentations. We might be able, obviously, to show them when they come in the right season. Hatchlings when they come out at night. Also take them on the nightly patrols to see mother turtles. Yeah, so that's really quite exciting. And then our second side.
Yes.
Yeah, Abida will tell you a little bit about.
So for Tanjung Jara, the Lantanga Turtle Watch project based at Tanjung Jara was founded in 2016. So our main goal, of course, to conduct sea turtle conservation, which included the prevention of sea turtle eggs from going to market for consumption. So how we work? The first thing is we continue the buyback system that has been initiated by the Department of Fisheries years ago. We run nest adoption program where the money will solely be used to purchase the eggs from licensed local tender holder. And secondly, the eggs that we purchase will be relocated to the safety of our hatchery at Tanjung Jara Resort for incubation. So during the incubation period, we will monitor the eggs nest until they hatch, and we release it back to the sea. And next, we kind of manage 2 of netting beaches here in Dungun, which are, this is the picture of we purchased the egg for tender holder. Incubation and monitoring of the egg. So we managed 2 nesting beaches here, which is Tahu Tiga, listed under resource status by the Department of Fisheries, and Kuala Abang. We bid for the tender for this year, and we are the tender holder for this beach. We have 2 rangers that patrolling these 2 beaches every night and help us obtain valuable nesting data. And the last one, I think, of course, public engagement is very important element for the conservation. We also conduct public engagement with the guests at the resort, local student and community. So through our nest adoption program, so we send updates on the whole process to them, starting from the purchasing of the nest, releasing the hatchling, and also post-hatching inspection to determine the hatchling success rate. So that's the basically overview of our project here at Tanjara Resort. Yeah.
Okay, so it's very encouraging. You're saying that you started off with only one tender beach back in 2016, right? That was your first standard beach. And now how many do you have standard for conservation? 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3. So
3, yeah. So
Tanga and Tiga is under reserve status. So we got the tender for Kuala Bang.
Wow,
Yeah,
wonderful.
So 3. Yeah.
So this has always, I mean, I'm personally a fan because I've always said that actually this is one of the ways, if we can't compete with them, we buy them out, basically.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who wants to actually raise fund. Of course, fundraising is an issue because ideally we should have a total, a consolidated fund for this. But now we have this Society of Conservation Biology Malaysia actually has a turtle group. I would encourage all of you. I see a lot of people interested in this. Please come and join us. I think Dave is back. Dave, are you able to share your slides now? Oh, are you done, by the way? Abida, are you done, or did you have things to add? Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Want to hear about our funding as well?
We'll go for that. We'll go for that after this. We can share. No, yes, because we have we have to let poor Dave finish his slot. Dave, are you able to come in?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. So please proceed.
Okay. The only thing is I'm now on my phone on the beach, so I'm not in a position to share the slides that I put together. I'm not sure if it's possible for you to share those on my behalf, or
have you
I
sent
can just
it
talk
to me?
without slides.
Have you sent it to me? Why don't you try to send it? You send it to me or via WhatsApp, and I'll see what I can do. And just in the meantime, just tell us. Just tell us.
Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone. Apologies for not being able to join earlier. I don't know what has been discussed so far, but I will do my best to jump into the discussions and participate as best that I can. So before I start, I just want to say a big thank you for the invitation. I thought it was going to be nice to take part, but we have technical issues. But like I said, I basically work for a Malaysian society called SEAS, and we're based at Scuba Junkies.
Dr. Jarina, I think your mic is muted as well.
Oh my God, I've been talking to myself. Very sorry about that. So
sorry.
It's okay. So I was just saying that we take this since Dave is not able to come back. We just pick up a few more questions because the questions that we picked up just now, the answers, some of people agreed. Me about tapping. Of course, some people wanted more harsh, more brutal. Dave, are you back? Dave?
Oh, I've been talking. Sorry, I thought everybody could hear me.
No, we lost you. So I was also talking to myself for a while, but it's okay. It happens. Are you okay now? Do you want to continue?
It's just challenging because I don't know if people can hear me or not. I don't. Did you get anything of what I said before, or did it cut
No.
out?
We only got to the until the part where you said I'm on the beach. I don't have my phone. I don't have my. Yes, I'm using my phone now, and I'm on the beach. And after that, we lost you.
Oh wow!
We thought you,
The
strange
thing is, I thought I was involved the whole time. Well, I guess we try one last time, and then no one can hold it against us for not having tried. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Yes, and good news is I'm going to try to open your slide now. Okay, I'm going to download your slide. At least we have that backup, right? Okay, so I'm going to try to share my screen.
Let me see. Is it working?
So I'm sharing. Do you see my screen? Does everybody see my screen?
No, I can still just see all the participants.
Okay. You guys are not seeing my screen?
Should I? Okay, I think maybe I just try without the slides one last time, and then I will let you guys continue the discussions if it's not possible.
Okay.
I don't want to hold everything back.
Okay, good man. So please proceed.
So we will try to do this without slides.
Yes.
Okay, so basically I live on Marble Island. I've been living here for the last 10 years, trying to provide that link between the dive industry and marine conservation. So trying to link the two. There's a lot of tourists that are coming to Sabah, to Malaysia, a lot of dive tourists. And when it comes to turtles, I mean, that's one of the most popular things that people want to see. And so I guess there's an opportunity then for us to take money made from tourism and put that back into turtle conservation. And people are very, very supportive of organizations like us and others who are trying to do things like this. So one of the projects that we launched was the Mabul Turtle Hatchery. And we launched that back in 2011 in collaboration with the Sabah Wildlife Department.
I think we lost him again. Did we lose him again? Yeah, I think we lost him again. Well, Dave, are you back?
Dr. Jha, just really quickly. So Abama and I are sharing a screen now. So maybe you can let Celine in to help you with with the presentations and stuff.
I think Livia wants to come in. So Livia is coming in.
Okay, yeah.
Can everybody hear me again?
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Yeah,
Dave,
to be perfectly honest, I think we're gonna have to give up from our side because otherwise I'm gonna hold the whole conversation back. So apologies that I wasn't able to take part. I was really looking forward to this, and I will try to follow the show. Good luck with the rest of it, and keep up the great work, everyone.
Yes, but Dave, what I would like you, if you don't mind, to still stay with us. Why don't you join our the channel, the YouTube channel, and type to us what you were supposed to. You can type, yeah. You don't have to. If you can't say things, you can actually post a comment and explain who you are. Maybe on. I will just read. Since you are not going to be able to present yourself, since I'm sure people are people are really curious about you. My God, they want to know who is this Dave because he keeps coming in and then disappearing. So I think you're like the most mysterious man. So I'm going to just read for people who you are, who you represent actually. So I will let you know the guy that you're not seeing on screen is actually David McCann, who is the conservation manager for Scuba Junkie. on Mabul Island, where he oversees the running of Mabul Turtle Hatchery and Mabul Turtle Rehabilitation Center. So as you can hear, when he's around, he's very passionate about developing collaborative approaches to conservation involving the government, private sector, NGOs, and local communities. And he is responsible for running 5-week-long conservation outreach events each year, including Turtle Week. So he's there, and please come and join us on the comments. If you see any comments that you can respond to, please do so. And well, you know, we don't want to lose you. Please stay with us, even if you don't have, you're not able to share and once in a while disappears. So this is our invisible man, David McCann. Thank you very much. Please stay with us. Okay, so so I guess we take up questions now, since there are a few that is related to when I was talking to myself. I was actually saying that we should pick up some questions that I think Encik Mat will be the best person to reply, because people are very curious about all this engagement. I mean, since we're talking about tapping the hand and everything, so Abang Mat, for example, when you go out, how many people on average do you bring with you? And do you guys give briefing beforehand? And this is all questions from Eileen Yao. You know, is there, how do you, at least we know sometimes some people, they don't listen, they do whatever they want, but as a precaution, what do you guys do? Do you control the number of people going down underwater, or do you have certain procedures that you follow when you take people on turtle related tourism?
What to say? Normally we brief them. Actually, we give them briefing before we started snorkeling, and every point of the snorkeling site, we give them a brief. Try to not to stand on the corals, not to climb the rock or anything. Don't touch anything. But the same thing in the turtle point. We also not allow people. We items like sometimes we go. The number is every day is different. Sometimes we go. Sometimes we got 5 boats, 1 boat, 2 boats every day, especially on the weekend. On the weekend, it's a bit more crowd on the weekend. Sometimes we receive 80 people and 100 people in the same time. Yeah, it's only from my agency. We have like 800. Plus, sometimes we meet with the others agency. We meet at the same time. Like we said that 12 example. I'll give you example. Sometimes I see more crowd at the turtle point on 12 p.m. until 1 a.m. It can be every weekend. You can see like more than 100 people is there. Yeah? More than 100 people is there. So it's like some of the guy they tell something to the people when they get in the water. Some the guy they're not. Yeah, they're not something to people. So some most of the customer they don't know what the rules when they do snorkeling. They just get in the water. They're excited to see they're just excited to see a turtle. When they start coming out, they're chasing, they grab it, on hugging anything. But there's some turtle they know already before. But that's what I try to say. For people on my boat, like, I just try to tell them every time, do not touch, do not touch. Sometimes I fight with the customer. I fight with another guy.
Yeah.
It's my experience. It happened to me. One of the customer from another guy. I think he just dive down and touch it. It's coming up. I warn him like, hey, please don't touch it. And he did again. And then it's coming up and touch again. You know what happened when he dived down the third time? It's coming. I hit him with a GoPro, boom, on the head.
Okay, that's why. Yes. That's what one of the our viewers wanted. They said that tapping is not enough.
Yeah, sometimes because you tell him like nicely, hey guy, please don't touch, not good. Because if you do that, you make turtle scare of people, he swim away, and pull other people. For people came here really want to see a turtle, but most of people is a local people, okay, local people from Malaysian. So most of people, they're not a good swimmers. They're not good swimmers.
Yeah.
Swim. They're just put on life jackets. Of course, they're not wearing fins. And you know what? When they just put them in the water, they do not even know how to move. So we just push them a little bit slowly from the surface. The turtle underneath them, like about for the step, they're sitting there and just keep looking down, not moving. When the turtle make a little bit move, they're already far away. I mean, they're left
Yes.
behind.
Yeah. So actually, for these people, it is better to have a glass boat, yeah, so that they just stay on the boat.
So for
Yeah.
people, of course, stay on the boat. For good swimmer, the advantage is they start go down, and the some turtle they're okay with the people. The some turtle they don't like people to stay close. Yeah, depend on the people. So as a guide, you should know you can snorkeling with, or you should know which turtle you cannot snorkeling with. I mean, snorkeling mean not swim with next to it all the time. No, I mean you are on the surface all the time. So you let the turtle sit at the bottoms for 3 meters. Okay, if you just keep watching like this, it doesn't matter how many 20 people. You mean
We are losing.
It's not happy. Yeah, unless if the turtle touch, they swim away. They swim away. So go down and touch, but still, I just still not good to do that. Just don't touch,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because some they have asking me why they cannot touch it. I just telling them easily, like, because we have so many people every day in the turtle point. Okay, so if I say if one people dig touch it, how many you think how many more people are gonna dig the same? When so one guy touch it, it's 10 more after coming and try.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why we really harsh telling them don't touch. Sometimes we almost fight with our customer. We fight with other boatmen. Yeah. Sometimes with my friend is also it's not good. Like I telling them, please telling your people don't do this, don't touch turtle. Yeah, like the guy I hate with the GoPro. Yeah, I almost have a fight with him. I almost punch him in the water.
Yes, this is the thing. It is very difficult when people don't understand, and that's why there was a question as well about from Ruyite asking whether is there a balance that we can find between tourism operations related to turtles and letting the wildlife alone. Is there because it's everywhere. People whale sharks. People go and see the orcas in the north. People, we are fascinated by wildlife. We can't help it. I think that is actually a good thing because it means that we are connected to them. And so we don't want this connection to be lost, but we don't want this to also cause their loss, because then the population will be extinct. And like very early on, like Encik Mat has said, these people don't understand. The operators don't understand. If they keep touching the turtle will go away. And when the turtle goes away, there goes your livelihood. You want to protect the turtles. You want to do the best you can for the turtles because that is your livelihood, right? So I think that's one of the things that I appreciate. That's why I really appreciate having Abang Mat here, because we want to Malaysians, most of Malaysians have to understand people like Abang Mat. These turtles mean more to him because he is from perhentian where turtles has been part of his life since he was a kid. His grandparents, even before that, it's part of their life and they want to keep it there. You as tourists, you are there for a couple of days and you want to touch the turtles. It doesn't matter to you when the turtles go away because it's never been part of your life. It's just part of your vacation. But this is part of Abang Mat's life. So if he knocks you with that golf club, he deserves to do that because you must have done something wrong. I mean, whoever that guy is, he deserved it. I mean, no sympathy from my side. But at least from this discussion, maybe this is where I don't know. Some people we had a question from from, I think I know this is Prof. Taj, obviously. He's asking as well, do you guys also face some issues when maybe Abang Mat in Perhentian, or maybe especially Sophia in Sabah, about people wanting to take, because you know the Sabah last time, remember we had these hundreds of turtle carapaces floating around in the islands for traditional Chinese medicine, for example. All these things that people actually trying to get turtle parts for medicinal purposes. So do you guys still hear things like this where you guys are based? This kind of turtle economy?
Not so much nowadays, but we still from time to time get reports from the communities. It was, I think the last one was last year. It involves people catching sea turtles using nets, and then they kill it. They kill the turtles for their meat, I think, and sell it to some tauke in KK. So that still happens, but not as frequent, I guess. And usually people will report it because we have honorary wildlife wardens in our area, and yeah, not so much anymore. Yeah.
Good. So
Yeah.
I think, in Terengganu, we don't hear so much about people collecting turtle parts from traditional Chinese medicine, but of course, the bigger issue is consumption of the egg itself, right? So that's a completely different thing. It's not, but of course, they believe it's for medicinal reason as well. I remember people telling me about asthma, how, it's sure cure those things, things, it's never been proven, but it's true. What about, which brings me to, before that, since Sophia is here, somebody asked, I'm not sure who said that. I saw, I think, Ni Tanan Koshi wants to know how much do you charge?
How much?
Your visitor, yes, in Kudat.
Oh, for our, pardon? Charging?
Yes, for your when people go with you, for the activities that you run. I think they're curious because, like you said, some people complain, right, when you charge, because people so they think if it's local community buat, tak professional lah, orang kampung je buat, so it shouldn't be charged that much, right? Versus, for example, if Luca was there, normal, I will pay euro because it's Luca, right? So how much do you actually charge?
The standard, usually standard, like 1 day activity is 80 ringgit per day. So that's inclusive of 2 programs. The program could be mangrove planting and beach patrolling, and also inclusive of 3 meals. So 80 ringgit for a day is quite a reasonable price, but still people are complaining, and I'm sure people won't complain if they go to Mabul or maybe Lang Tengah and charging them for a few hundred, I guess, because they're professionals. So community are not being seen as professional conservationists, so they put a lower value to the effort that community are doing.
That's the problem, the problem with Malaysians, that they never like local stuff. I remember growing up, when you buy something, local, there's something wrong with the Malaysians. Have to change. We have to appreciate, because actually locals have what, I'm not trying to say that we don't see people like Luca, we do. I'm just saying that it doesn't give a different value to locals, because local communities, especially people like Encik Mat, they have what we call traditional ecological knowledge. There's reason for their observations, like people that you work with as well, which is, I hope then from this session, nobody will question Sophia when she charges 80 ringgit with meals, 2 programs. My God, you can't even get a decent meal in KK for that, right?
Yes.
So, I also, one more question that I will pick is actually for Adiba, because like I said, I highlighted that LTTW is very interesting because they are the only conservation that is also a tender holder for a nesting beach. So the question from Eileen Yao is, do you guys need to renegotiate your terms with the tender holders annually, or the ones that you buy eggs from, or do they have a long agreement with LTTW?
Okay. So we usually for the tender, as I mentioned, that we are a tender holder for one beach, so we need to renew it. We need to we need to bid for the tender every year. We need to renew it every year. So for the relationship with the license local tender holder, we kind of, because we have a good relationship with him, so we also need to set a price for, I mean, for annually. Yeah. So yeah, when you saying like that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's annually.
So with him, like with our main provider, like main tender holder that we're buying eggs from, it's like, yeah, each year you have to discuss the price, what's going to be paid this year per egg, and etc. Yeah, and for our own tenders, yeah, as Abida said, we have to place bids on them in order to be getting the rights for the nests.
Yeah, but so far for the price is still same for since the previous year we working on this. Yeah.
Okay, so but the tender is every year, right? Annual tender.
Yeah, every year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so so there's also a question about people who disobey. Do you guys think that it's not strict enough? Do we need to have a new approach in law enforcement of these regulations with turtle tourism? Maybe Bang Mat, what do you think? Do we need to be more strict?
Perlu, saya perlu. Yeah, we need more like it's nice. Actually, sometimes helpful with the eco-tiers. Sometimes when during the peak time, peak hours for the turtle watching, I can see a bit more different to the people manners when eco-tiers people around. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll just provide a bit of context. So what
Yeah.
he means is that because we also do kayak surveys, so in addition to nesting turtles like that Lang Tengah does as well, we also monitor an in-water population, which is also where is the tourist spot for turtle watching as well. So when we are there, we are sometimes the times that we do our surveys also coincides when it's peak tourist times when they're there to also do their turtle watching, and so because they know. It's really easy to recognize us because we're the only crazy ones who are willing to kayak all the way there. Everyone just takes a boat. So if they see people on kayaks, that's going to be us. And if they know that eco-tier is there, then they're more mindful of how they handle the tourists, saying they're like, okay, don't touch, don't chase the turtle. If they don't see us there, I think that's what Abang Mat means, that, if we're not there, then maybe they're less strict on the tourists.
Yeah, I think because maybe some of the guide when eco-tiers people or some like enforcement people is not around, they take on. It doesn't matter he give us speed or go down or not. But I think maybe they see some eco-tiers around. I think they make more careful, like they make more proper trip. Okay, guys, I don't touch anything. But I think maybe this kind of people is not around. They just take easy. Maybe
Mel, we're having problem with the connection. Mel, we can't hear you. Okay, I think they are having. Yeah, we lost you for a while.
Okay. Yeah.
Come back.
Okay, we're back.
Back.
Yes.
Yeah, like in the futures, maybe much better. Yeah, sometime I don't know on eco-tiers that it can, if they can be there. I think maybe it's a bit hard for them. Yeah, if they can be there while they know where is the peak hours for total watching. Doesn't matter eco-tiers or even for our marine park. But of course, they're not really interested to involve on this. Yeah, because they have their own things to do. They're busy enough with their own thing. Maybe it's with eco-tiers. So if with this kind of people, enforcement around, they keep looking at it, it's maybe it's more control for our guide. Actually, when the touching thing happens to me is most from the guide. I think most from the guide, they should telling every customer to this. But I noticed some of the guide, they just don't say anything. Okay, they don't say anything. They just when they arrive at the place, say, okay, this is the point. If you see to just down here and then go down. What I'm always used to hear from the guide, but not really go for perfect briefing, not to touch them, and then the turtles coming up many times, don't grab on them. Yeah, I think the equities did good before. I think the equities they made a class. You're not here last time, right? The equities they made a class for all of our guide in perhentian. Okay, they give a certification. They make
Eco snorkeling.
Eco snorkeling guide. 3 days. I think 3-day class. I think all the guide, they know this already. I think what they should do, what they can't to do. But some of them they take caution, some of them they not. Yeah, maybe we can make this more this kind of program, give them a train again, keep them remind them again what to do. Maybe it's better for futures.
So it's interesting. You mean so when Mel is around, for example, they would be more. Yeah, so when they see Mel on the kayak, they would be more strict with their people. So now we know like Mel is a social enterprise, and she needs funding. She needs to charge people for that. So there was a question from Miss Eileen Yao. She keeps asking, so how is it sustainable? How are you guys going to, especially now when there's nobody going there? So how are we going to keep Mel on the kayak and paddling to discourage all these other snorkelers, snorkel guys? Sorry.
It's a tough one because clearly, we do rely on volunteers and stuff. And in the past, nothing like this has ever happened before. So we've never really had to rack our brains to find different ways of funding ourselves. But in terms of just kayaking, if we're just talking about the activity itself, like kayaking is technically free for us because we own the kayaks. So all is just take our kayaks out and just do that. But of course, we also have to think about us actually being on the islands, like operating, like just basically operating costs as well. And I'm not quite sure like how we can like if we're talking about like financial support, it's a bit hard to talk about with this pandemic. Obviously, we've been trying to do our own fundraisers, like turtle adoption campaigns, or just like doing virtual field trips and stuff with school groups. But yeah, I think in terms of the conservation activities themselves, especially just the kayak surveys, it is still possible to do because they're technically free of charge because we already own the equipment. But it's more of like if we have to be on the island because we don't belong here, that's where the challenge comes in.
Yeah. Okay. So Sophia, are you still there? She's gone back to.
Yes, I'm still here. My camera shuts down.
Sorry, Dr. Jad, quickly, I forgot to mention when we were talking about the eco.
We lost you again, Mel. Mel? Okay, they keep freezing, so it's okay. Sophia, in relation to, it's very interesting. There's been people discussing willingness to pay, and since you just now mentioned your 80 ringgit, and I think somebody mentioned that it's maybe it's not the right cost. What about doing a willingness to pay study? Obviously, these are academics asking these questions. So, what would be your comment to that?
Yes, I think that is a very much needed study. I'm not sure if we already have that kind of study in Unmus Sapapa, but I heard that the Sabapa was doing it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think the park authority, the management authority is working on it, or maybe they've already worked on it, but we haven't received any information about that kind of study yet. Yeah, but I think that is very much needed.
Yeah. So yeah, because for me personally, as I said, 80 ringgit for a whole day with you guys, with meals is a good one. But yeah, perhaps a willingness to pay. Well, we invite the academic who's here. I think Nitanan Koshi is obviously an academic, is interested in this. Can get in touch with Sophia and all others to see. I wanted to ask Adiba and Luca. Perhaps Adiba is more related to this. How do these the other tender holders, when you actually approach them to buy their eggs, are they always willing or how?
Sorry, what's in the great?
It's a bit choppy, the connection, but I think I understood. You're wondering if the tenderholders are always willing to sell the eggs to us. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, go for it.
So, and you have to speak closer to your mic, because people are. Abida, you have to speak closer to your mic. People are having problem hearing you. Yes, please.
Can you hear me now? Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. So for the license locator holder that we work with, as you know, the market price, if you sell it to the market, it can be fluctuate. Where early in the season, it can be they can get higher price. Where the peak season, it will the price will go down. So we try to set flat price for the eggs. So it's kind of give
security.
Yeah, security for themselves. Yeah.
Okay. So you find something that you're comfortable with, flat, no matter what the season is. So it's easier. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
good.
Security for the price. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so we without realizing it, with the technical problems that we had, we have actually reached our 1.5 hours time. But so I would like to give this opportunity for each of you to wrap up with the question that we wanted to ask as well. How do you make these activities that you do more sustainable? At the end of the day, we have to keep the turtles well, because if your economy depends on it, they have to be sustainable. So can you just share some ideas on how do you think this can be done moving forward? Perhaps we can start with Adiba and Luca, because Luca mentioned just now that you wanted to share some of your ideas in the future.
Yeah, of course. So being sustainable, So about being sustainable in the future, I think what we are trying to do here at Tanga Telewatch is to have also a strong presence online, and not only land-based here, because obviously now in the COVID crisis, we've really discovered how difficult things can get when suddenly there's no tourists anymore, there's no volunteers anymore. International staff had to leave because they were urged by the government to go home. And only that is when we really realized how important it is that we had a strong online presence and a strong follower follow our team on like Facebook and Instagram, and our adopters that used to adopt our nest. They keep following us online. They keep adopting nests, which means we're able to keep actually buying nests from the tenderholders here. So we even though coronavirus hit us quite hard, I think we were actually in a quite lucky situation that we could keep running our project here in TJ smoothly, pretty much, unlike other places. We're also obviously backed here by a large corporate corporation, by YTL Hotels, which is obviously a big plus for us as well to secure a smooth running of the operations. That's for the Tanjung Jara project, but for the Tanga project, that basically is completely funded by volunteers. That was obviously the deal breaker for us, that we couldn't fund the project anymore. Like the costs were like outrageous for what we were doing. We had to patrol. We were on the island for a really long time, actually, with just 3 people, and we did turtle patrols every single night, half the night, because I went by myself and then the 2 girls went together, and it was really tough. So yeah, what I think like sustainable is if you not only have one source of income, but maybe multiple sources of income to ensure if one income cuts out suddenly, that you ensure that your project can keep running and not just rely on one single thing, because then things can end very quickly.
Yeah, noted. Diversity, perhaps, diversified activities in the sense that you don't put your eggs in the same basket, more or less. Sophia, what are your thoughts? How to make the activities, the initiatives that you've started with community in Kudat more sustainable? Unmute yourself, Sophia, please. Thank you.
So, okay. This COVID-19 impact on tourism is not going to be it's not going to be better within these few months. It's going to take probably a few years for tourism to come back in I think everywhere. So it is important, as I was saying, to diversify our economic source of economy for people who are doing turtle conservation, and so it is important for us to support them in terms of capacity building and enhance or diversify their skills so that they have more options in income generating activities. Yeah, so diversification is the way, and also making sure the communities are also able to use online platforms as a marketing tool for their products.
Yeah, that means upskilling them and maintaining diversification. I mean, usually coastal communities are diversified anyway. So yeah, that's how, again, the same thing, don't put your eggs in the same basket. What about people in Perhentian? What are your thoughts?
Sorry, one moment. Let me just brief Abang Mat for a while.
It's hard. Since the COVID-19, I think all the business is shut down here. Right? Even because my customers is depend of my agencies, okay, from my agencies. So because this COVID-19, the agency, they cannot sell this for us. No chance for us to make a business here anymore. Okay, until the governments declare we are free from this thing. So no, I think it's no choice to do. We just have to wait and wait. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad for for now. It's really bad for our financial. It's bad because no one expects this thing happen. Okay, so we can survive better in monsoon season because we expect it's monsoon coming.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a saving, but we didn't expect this COVID-19, so we don't save anything. So we get because this happened, this thing happened just right when we start the season, right? Start the season, and so before we start the season, we spend all everything for fix the boats, upgrade the boats, upgrade everything what they have. So it means you don't have to think about your saving because you know when the business start, you can rolling again from the new season. But when the new season start, the COVID-19 start. So everybody like, wow, this, then every day we cannot survive like this. Yeah. So we don't know what to do. Just keep waiting and waiting. Hope we'll be better on the next one.
Yeah, it's true. I think if for those people, as I said, this total economy is not just about the tourism-based economy. It's also, it's not just tourism-based, turtle-based tourism. Sorry, it's also about conservationists who's looking for funding. People like Mel, who's looking for fees. Sophia, who's who needs to have activities. Now they can't because of MCO. And then there's Adiba and Luca who's getting tired with all the patrolling without volunteers. It's hard on us all, but I think what we can do in wrapping up, I would say, like Abang Mat said, something very interesting. Local community especially will always know how to cope by preparation. In the past, they would prepare because monsoon is something that happens every year. Even in the mainland, they actually used to cope very well with the floods every year because it happens every year. Everybody had a sampan, yeah. But now we just not like that. So, but COVID is completely unexpected and it hit them harder because it's just at the beginning of the big season, yeah. So we root for you. I mean, we feel for you. We're in this together. But what we could perhaps consider, and I think this will not be too difficult for people in Perhentian, is diversification, not to put your eggs in the same basket, more or less. Like Sophia has mentioned, I think Adiba also mentioned that a bit, Abida, and look, I think that's what we have to do. LTTW plans to do that. Sophia plans to do that. Perhaps Mel would have to also think about social entrepreneurship, which is not just, but they're doing that, if I'm not mistaken, about the activities, and people in Perhentian as well. So I guess that's basically how I would wrap up this session. We apologize to our viewers whose questions we were not able to take now, but do take note that that the panelists, I invite you all to keep the link and answer the questions that you think are most relevant to you. We will do the same. We thank you again for participating in this session. Even Dave, I hope he's still around among the viewers. Thank you again for being with us for more than 1.5 hours. Selamat Hari Raya, Maaf Batin. Let us all, I guess, protect or make turtle population in Malaysia sustainable because our livelihood depends on it. So stay safe, everyone, and let's all make turtle economy sustainable. Bye. Let me just take a photo of everyone. Yes, can you just hold on? Do not leave right away. We'll go offline, and I would like to take a group photo because I've been instructed by the organizers. For the rest watching us, thank you very much for your patience, and please look out for our answers if you haven't done that yet. Bye-bye.